First, we need to think about the mind of the leader. This has to do with the mentality or the belief system of a leader. Because mentoring requires a certain attitude. So the first statement I want to make in this segment is to focus on the fact that leadership is about sharing power. That's a mentality issue, or as we would say, a philosophy issue. If your philosophy is gaining power, protecting power, reserving power rather than sharing power, you will not mentor. So your philosophy will determine your behavior. So this is a philosophical statement. True leadership is about what? Power share. Think about it for a minute and see if that's your belief. Do you really believe that? You might be quick to say yes, but if you think about your lifestyle, your leadership style, and your leadership behavior, it may be saying something different. Your ability to share power has to be regulated by a sense of security. That leads to point number 2. True leadership does not seek power. It seeks to empower. The average leader today in all countries that I've been in are motivated by a desire for power. And power can be defined many different ways, but in most cases it's considered control. Whether it's controlling people or controlling assets or controlling resources. But this is why people want money. They want position. Even knowledge can be used to gain power. But our job as leaders is to empower people. Think about what that does if that's your belief system. When you enter a position, or if you start an organization, I ask you a question. Why did you start the organization? It's not necessarily to accomplish a goal like building a building or establishing a company or gaining profits. And those 3 things are probably what motivates most of you. It should be about improving people, empowering people to become successful and to not need you. I've discovered that when you release people, they come back to you with more. Because they expand. And when they expand, they have access to bring back to you. So, empowering people is the motivation for true leadership. Number 3, the priority of true leadership is to prepare your replacement. Prepare your replacement. Work from now on, when you go back to your workplace or your job place or your business or your ministry, make this a goal. Write it down in capital letters. I'm going back to prepare my replacement. Make it one of your goals. You know, we write goals every year. Don't leave mentoring off your goal list. In our organization, we are training people constantly, and we are really driving hard in this area because my plans are greater than what I'm doing. I'm talking about in our local environment here, because if I become so attached to the local, then I can't handle the international. So whatever you embrace will hold you. I'm pausing because you missed it. Whatever you hold on to will hold you. So hold everything very slack, because it can become a prison. Number 4, true leadership does not just capture a vision, which is what we are all driven by, our vision, but we also capture not just a vision of the future, but a vision of the future leaders. How about that for a vision? Sometimes we only have a vision of our organization, of our dreams, our ministry, our business. What about having a vision of the future leaders who will run it, who will inherit it, who will take over? Have a vision of the leaders as well. It doesn't make logical sense for you to have a great vision, to build something significant in your lifetime, and in the end, when you die, no one is there to take care of it. So don't just have a vision for your vision. Have a vision for the leaders who will preserve it. And again, that demands mentoring. All right. The principle of succession is an interesting one because we don't think about it too often. But here's one of my take on this. A vision that is genuinely from God will always be bigger than your lifetime. In other words, God will never give you an assignment that you can complete in your lifetime, because He is a generational God. He will not allow you to complete the vision. He'll allow you to finish your phase of it. Most of what you've written down to do will not be done by you. It requires succession. So you can always tell when a dream is from God. You can never finish it. You can only finish your part of it. You know, I think one of the greatest statements made by Jesus Christ on earth, who I consider to be the greatest leader that I've ever thought of and meant, was this: it is finished. I think what's important in those words is He did not say, I am finished. There's a big difference between I am finished and it is finished. It is referring to a phase. Why? He is still working, isn't he? But he went to another phase, and the phase required relocation to another place. And he's now working, and his phase now is what? Intercession. But he's still working. Your next phase may require relocation. Who told you you're going to die in Guyana? But you see, if you're so stuck and hanging on to a position, God can't get you to the greater work. You could be so in love with what you are doing that it prevents you from your greatness. Never think what you are doing now is great. It's a phase. How can you be better than resurrection? Simple. Go to heaven, sit on a throne, and pray. That's greater than resurrection. Now, I mean, you think you can't get better than resurrection? Well, yes, He's gotten better. He is seated on a throne. That's better than resurrection. See, what you think is great is not the end of your life. So, the dream in your heart will always be bigger than your lifetime, and you were only given that dream to complete your phase. And it's important to know when your phase is over. Age does not measure the phase. Please write it down. The phase of Jesus Christ's assignment on earth was finished at 33 years old. Stop planning to grow old where you are. You're blocking the next generation. And sometimes you'll be sent to do an assignment only for a few months or maybe a few years, or maybe a decade. Don't get tied to it, because life is much bigger than your job. Your life is bigger than your job. And so don't get stuck. If the spirit of mentoring and succession comes upon you, you'll always be progressive. You'll always be free to move. By the way, if you capture the spirit of succession and mentorship, you will never be depressed when they fire you. Because your interpretation of that would be, it's time to move on. They didn't fire you, they released you to your next phase. That's all. But if your job was your life, they destroyed your life. You never lose anything in life. You simply go to the next phase.